we have this year our 60th anniversary, and we're all excited about it. We asked a team to come together to give us some thoughts and some planning for the future, especially as we look toward October. October is going to be a big month, and it is also the 500th anniversary of the Protestant Reformation, so we'll kind of merge the two anniversaries, St. Andrew's 60th and the Reformation's 500th. So we'll think about that in October, but we're looking for a series of special events between October and March. And we have the names of the team. Do we have that? There they are. So if you have ideas and want to run them past some of these guys, we chose these people because they're better than you are. And no, come on, because they're party people, they're fun people. They love St. Andrews. They're known for their gifts of hospitality, and that's why I asked them to come together. It's not that they're better than anyone else, but if you have ideas, please talk to them, and we'll try to get your stuff up and running and make some considerations. And lastly, big announcement, and I just have to preface this a little bit. Back in January, the elders came together. We had a one-day retreat here at St. Andrews, and we tried to, among other things, think about the times in which we're living, and we looked at trends in our society, at trends in our congregation. We looked at our numbers and our ministries, and then we had a time where in the last third of the retreat, we put a lot of weird things on the table and just sky's the limit, outside the box kind of thinking. How can we respond to the opportunities that God is giving us, and how can we take advantage of these opportunities to further the mission that we believe God has given us, that is to be satisfied in God, loving one another, and doing good in the world. And we look back on a number of things, and I put a lot of things on the table. I won't go over all of them, what they were, but a lot of them you would have think, wow, that's different that you guys would even be discussing that. One of the things that I wasn't very sure would gain a lot of traction was the possibility of changing the name of this church. And we've thought about it for many years. Even when I first came here, we thought about it. And over the years, we've had a lot of inclination that it might be a good thing to do, and so we are thinking about doing it. And George, you have the name. So the new name, I just wanted to share it with you. No, George, no. Let me. Actually, that's not it. Okay. No, that's not it. What we thought was we would retain our present name, but de-emphasize it and more emphasize something that's more telling about the church. The name St. Andrews, probably many of you have no idea what that's about. You think of St. Andrew as one of the apostles. If you're a little bit more savvy, as were the founders of this church, who were stalwart Scots Presbyterians, they knew that St. Andrews was a region and a city in Scotland, which was at one time the papal center of the United Kingdom, the Catholic center, and then under the influence of John Knox became the center of Protestantism and Calvinism in Scotland. Many of you probably don't know that, and other things like the opening scene of Chariots of Fire was filmed there. But you didn't know that, did you? So anyway, when we talk about St. Andrews to people, quite often through the years, they genuflect because they think we're a Catholic church. And I happen to preach a sermon at Christ Covenant Church, our sister church that we planted 25 years ago. 25 years ago, yeah, they had their anniversary. And when the pastor, Brian Kelso, introduced me at the three services, he kept referring to TJ is the pastor of the church in Hollywood. TJ is the pastor of the church in Hollywood. And I kept wondering, why isn't he saying the name of the church? And I asked him after the service, we went out to lunch, I said, hey, how come you didn't call it St. Andrews? He said, oh, we never refer to you guys as St. Andrews. I said, well, why not? He says, we refer to you as the church in Hollywood. Why? Well, because every time we say St. Andrews, people think it's a Catholic church, and they wonder how a Presbyterian church got planted by a Catholic church. And we found that over the years. People come into the church. I'd like to have my child baptized. Is the priest in? That kind of thing. So what we'd like to do is honor the name of St. Andrews and retain that in our name, but add to the name something more indicative of who we are, namely our location. And now for the real name that we're proposing.
We're digesting it.
The name is harder to digest than the food, huh? Okay, Mary asked for logo. We don't know about logo. There's a lot we don't know about it. This is about as far as we've gone. We've looked at some logo possibilities, and eventually we'll go to a logo artist to help us with that, and we'll work that through. So for the time, we'll be known as St. Andrew's Park Road Presbyterian Church. Of course, Park Road being more prominent. The name Park Road has a kind of regality to it. It sounds like Park Place or Park Avenue. Of course, we are on the same road as the Park in Hollywood, TY Park. A park is a place that brings people together in an intergenerational, plural kind of a way, and we're into that. That's what we are. So again, it tells where we are. It honors the past, and I think looks forward to the future in a more descriptive way that we're not a Catholic church, we're Park Road Presbyterian Church located on Park Road. All right, well, praise the Lord again. We're looking to advance, and that's really why we're doing this. We were very deliberate in what we did. The elders brought it up at the retreat. We brought it up at another meeting. We then brought the deacons in, wanted to get their input, and then we finally voted on it. So and now we're sharing it with you. It's not been a decision that we made overnight. In fact, again, Paul Fowler is the first one that suggested this to me, and that was when I first came here back in 1989 when I was 13. So, all right, enjoy your food. He is risen.